their routine is going to look a little bit different. But I remember one of the things that I was taught in my recovery process was if you go on vacation or something of the sort, don't veer too far away from your routine, right? And it may not look exactly the same, but even if it's just going to sleep at the same time, eating meals at the same time, just some of those things, some of those touching points for your day, keep them in place. So that way, when you come back off of vacation, it's not a shock, So I think that was where I first started to look at and was like, okay, so the routines are going to look different, but I think that's where, as peers, we're going to have to step in and get in front of this thing and offer and present as many alternatives as possible. So, if a person typically would, they get up and they did prayer and meditation, okay, that can stay. If they go to the gym afterwards, it's like, okay, well, now maybe it's push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks, or whatever, right? And then if it's like maybe it's your meetings, and you went to meetings on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Don't veer from that. Don't veer from that. And it can be. It was interesting, right? Because you see some that would kind of respond like, okay, well, it's easier to miss, but it's also easier access to jump on. So that's an interesting piece, and I'll circle back around to that in a minute. But yeah, and so keep those meetings the same. If you were in the middle of working step work, I know that like my sponsor, myself, I've continued to do the same thing every other Sunday. Like I'm not changing those things, right? And so as we've talked about and worked on routines, I think that it's been really cool. It's been a really cool time for us to like lay out the groundwork, right? Because there's a lot of people that we have that are in very early recovery. They came in here as COVID was really hitting. So the recovery community is not something that they were necessarily involved in, upon coming in. So as they came in, we've kind of stayed in this place like, okay, now we're going to set this thing in place for when the restrictions are lifted, you're going to be very well prepared with a routine, right? So there's some that we had to offer alternatives, and there's some that we're setting it for the first time. So, it was kind of cool to go through and work some of these things. It's like, hey, when as we set the groundwork here, when restrictions are lifted, there's just going to be like this overwhelming sense of gratitude that you now can go to those outlets.